And as they led him away, they laid hold upon one Simon, a Cyrenian, coming out of the country, and on him they laid the cross, that he might bear it after Jesus. Luke 23, verse 26. Clovis G. Chappell records the imaginary testimony of Simon. Years ago, as a proselyte, I went from Cyrene to attend the great feast at Jerusalem. To my amazement, when I came near Jerusalem, the crowds were headed out of the city instead of into it. Asking what this meant, I was told that 3 prisoners were that day to pay the death penalty. I elbowed my way through the crowd until I was near enough to have touched the prisoners with my own hand. 2 of them were vigorous, rough, rowdy, and hard as nails. The other, while a fine figure of a man, was evidently suffering from much bloodletting. Indeed, he was so weakened that even as I looked, his knees buckled and he fell under the weight of his cross. Then, the ghastly thing happened. A strong hand gripped my shoulder, a short sword flashed in the sun, and a voice of authority thundered at me, "You there! Take up the cross!" Therefore, with a curse on my lips and rage in my heart, I shouldered the hated load and fell in beside the man whose burden I had taken. This man, so far as I remember, said never a word to me, but the very breath of him somehow cooled the hot fires of my resentment. Even by his silence, he seemed to say, "I'm sorry to have involved you in this, but I'm not quite up to myself this morning." Then, when he came to the foot of the hill, he made it as if he would take over, but to my utter amazement I heard myself say, "Never mind, I will be glad to carry it for you, up the hill and all the way." And carry it I did. I stood by and watched the grim work of crucifixion. I heard him pray for his enemies. I heard him when at last he dropped his tired and tortured body into the arms of eternal love, praying, "Father, into thy hands I commit my spirit." By all this he so completely won my heart that I took up his cross of my own choice. And from that day to this, what was once my shame has now become my glory. May we, by beholding Christ and witnessing how he bore his cross for us, be moved to also bear our cross for him. And as always, think on these things.